Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. My name is Dayana Lasmar, and most of you on here probably know me or you were referred to this webcast today by a friend or anyone else. I am a massage therapist and also a integrative nutrition health coach. And I wanted to share on this topic briefly because it's very important, and we hear a lot out there about detoxing and, do this and starve yourself and drink lemon water and do all sorts of things. And there's many stories behind why people detox. And I just wanted to get down to just the basics of why detoxing is necessary, why it is important. And really how to be able to tell if you need to detox or not. So allow me to just welcome you tonight, and I'm going to go right on through and get started. Okay. I'm going to have a little bit of time for any questions. If you're on here and you're watching this, there's a little box on the bottom where you can ask questions. Feel free to do that. I can always get back with you as well. We can't do it live during this stream. Okay. So what are toxins? We'll begin by that. We hear a lot of talk about toxins in our bodies, toxins around us. The most important thing you need to know, and it comes from Merriam-Webster's definition, and it's going to be a pretty extensive one, but I'm going to read it out just to make sure here that you capture what it is. A toxin is a poisonous substance that is a specific product of the metabolic activities of living organisms and is usually very unstable, notably toxic when introduced into the tissues, and typically capable of inducing antibody formation. Okay, basically, to summarize, toxins are harmful matter. Okay, that's it. You want to stay away from toxins. However, our world, as you're going to see in just a moment, is filled with them. So what are we supposed to do, right? There's three categories of toxins that I'm going to talk to you about. The first one would be internal toxins, okay? Our bodies are wonderful machines. They're self-repairing. They defend the body from illness, but they can also produce poisonous, self-poisoning things, right? As our body functions, it creates toxins. Toxins are the waste from the energy that's expelled in our bodies while all those millions and millions and millions of cells within our body are fighting off and restoring things and renewing things within it. There's a byproduct of that, right? And that's waste. And those are toxins. And the body, being the wonderful thing that it is, it has an automatic mechanism, if you would, where your body releases those toxins, right? So you're constantly burning energy. Your cells are at a cellular level, we're speaking here. They're burning off energy and they're producing waste. And where is that waste going? Your body is made to be able to expel that waste, eliminate it, get rid of it, okay? What causes the backup many times in our bodies with the internal toxins is the fact that we also introduce toxins into our bodies. So if we're ill, we'll take medication. If we have a headache, we take a pill. Different things like that you're adding on into the waste that's already in your body that your body's trying to get rid of. How does that affect? So everyday meds, like for example, a proton pump inhibitor, which are antacids, so Nexium, Prevacid, all of that, they slow down your digestion. And they also reduce the ability of your body to absorb vitamins. So now you're getting an absorption issue going on because of these medications, but they're slowing down your digestion, and your digestion helps your body get rid of toxins as well. So just think about this happening on a daily basis, because usually people who are on anti-acid medication are taking them on a daily basis, right? So you're talking 1 year, that's 365 days a year. 2 years, 3 years, you add the numbers and you think about the accumulation of that medication in there. And that's just considering that it would be that one medicine, that there's not more medicines going on in the body that you're having to take. Chronic signs that you will get of internal toxins is you get infections, you get chronic infections. Any little thing, you pick it up right away. You suffer from your sinuses a lot. You have a lot of stomach issues. Those could be signals that your body is carrying some excess toxins. The next group of toxins are external ones. So you have the internal ones that happen from natural processes in your body, but those aren't the only ones that we're exposed to. So the external toxins, what would external toxins be? We already mentioned medications, right? All the side effects of those medications that have to be filtered through our body in order to leave the system, okay? So we have that. Usually we think external toxins, we think food, right? Non-organic food that's full of pesticides. We hear that all of the time as well. But it's not just the food. You have smoke, you have smog, you have paint, that is on all of our walls, which contains high levels of lead. You have mercury if you eat a lot of seafood. Unfortunately, our oceans are so polluted that there is a lot of mercury buildup within the fish that we're eating, right? Aluminum, and you might think aluminum like aluminum foil. No, I'm talking aluminum that's in your deodorant and antiperspirant. We tend to look forward to using that, right? So we don't have wet spots under our arms because we're sweating. Those things are toxic to our bodies. Okay, mold is another thing. If you live in a very hot, humid place, there's mold in different areas, in your air conditioning systems, in your vehicles, anywhere you can find that. Those are toxins that are out in the environment. Poor air quality. Many times when people work for long periods of time in buildings, and most of us do work in office buildings or anything like that, where the air is recirculating through an air conditioning system, right? You get what they call it a sick building syndrome. So what does this bring on? Recurring migraines all of the time, respiratory issues, and you go to the doctor and you get all sorts of testing done and they can't figure out what it is. So they just chuck it to stress and say it's probably just stress. Well, sometimes it's the toxins within those buildings that you're breathing all the time because you're locked up in those buildings 8 hours a day. Our water is also contaminated. It's important to get a very good filter that'll help filter your water, but that could be a whole other issue that we can talk about forever and a day. So I'm not even going to touch that. Just keep in mind, we also take in toxins from water. Household cleaners. Those are ones that maybe we don't think about. We're exposing ourselves every time we use household cleaners. And if you have friends that do essential oils, many people are going towards the use of essential oils to disinfect and clean, to do less harm on the body, right? Or to keep it from being harmful. But we're exposed to cleaning agents. And I'm not even just talking about what you clean your house with, but also the soaps that you wash your clothes with, and the softeners and the softener sheets that we use to keep our laundry nice and fluffy and smelling really, really nice. Then that sits on our body, on our clothes, right? Because those chemicals stay on our clothes. It's on our skin, which is our largest organ, and it's going right back in. If you work out and you go and you work out and you leave the gym and you have a soaking wet shirt, when you work out and you sweat, you release toxins in the body. But when you stay with that cold, cold, it would be cold if you're in the air conditioning, but with that wet piece of clothing on your skin, you're reabsorbing those toxins. So those are there as well. Pet products, plastic, Tupperware, water bottles, all this kind of stuff. And Tupperware, and I don't mean just if you store cold food in a Tupperware, it's going to leach out too much if you keep it cold. But if you heat up your food in the microwave in a Tupperware, you're releasing particles in there that are toxic to the body. So basically, we're surrounded by these external toxins. And unless we live in a bubble, and even the bubble would be toxic, we can't avoid those, right? We can't avoid the internal toxins that our body produces as waste, except for maybe trying not to have too many medications, but it's almost impossible, right? It's just the normal, natural process of the body, and the body is made to get rid of those. Then the external ones, we do have certain control, but we can't avoid it. It's going to be everywhere that we go, right? Toxic behaviors, that's another part. We know that cleaning products are bad for us, but we keep using them. That's a behavior that we choose to keep practicing, right? Because, well, this idea of washing your clothes with like biodegradable soap that's just doesn't seem like the clothes really wash the way they should. Or if you wash them with vinegar. I know people who wash their clothes with vinegar. I put a cup of vinegar in my laundry instead of using a softener. But how many people really want to go through that whole bothersome process? Well, it all depends on how badly you want to eliminate the toxins from your household. Okay, so the use of harsh chemicals at work. Sometimes we have jobs where we know we're using toxins and we're using harsh chemicals. It's our job, right? Taking Tylenol every day. I know people who take Tylenol or are told to take Aleve every day for arthritis pain. Those are toxic behaviors. Whether they're something that could be avoided or not, they're still behaviors that we practice. Excessive stress, so not taking any time out for yourself to relax and just allowing that stress to control you, where you end up overeating or you end up making very bad nutritional choices. Those are also toxic behaviors. They also lead to mental health, anxiety, depression, having to take medication for those situations, to be able to sleep, having to drink alcohol every day when you get home from work, with the reasoning behind that being, hey, I need to just unwind and forget about my day, so I need to drink a few glasses of wine or a few beers every single day. It's a coping mechanism, right? And some of us might realize it, some of us might not, but we're harming ourselves by doing this on a regular basis. Smoking is another situation. A lack of self-control. All of these things affect us, and they're toxic behaviors that we are almost slaves to, if you would, or we allow them to be, or this whole idea of, I want to eat whatever I want to eat because I like it and it's just too hard not to eat it. So where is the control? We lose control of what we can control, right? And we lose that desire to do so. So seeing those three categories of toxins, it's inevitable. We can't escape. They're in our lives. And unless we live in glorified bodies, right? And we're spirit, we're exposed to these things. So this is why detoxing becomes so important. And it becomes important to do it on a regular basis. It becomes to do specific detoxes for a certain amount of time. Maybe I say every quarter or so, just to give your body that break to be able to catch up from all those accumulated toxins that are in the body. Okay. Just to explain to you really briefly here, you can see in this picture the process of detoxification and elimination. So we have two main organs basically, but here it's centered on the liver. That's the main organ that filters everything through, right? So you're taking, toxins will enter through your lungs, your skin, and your intestines with what you eat. And then it also goes out through your skin. So we have acne problems, psoriasis, you name it. People suffer all sorts of skin issues, kidney disease, colon when it comes to digestion, lungs when it comes to respiratory problems. I mean, it's going in, it's coming out, but when you have excess toxins, if you follow that graphic, they're going to go one way or the other. The fat soluble ones, this is getting really technical. I'm not going to go in depth with this, but those will be stored in your fat cells and your bone marrow and your liver and your central nervous system. The water soluble ones, they go in your joints, your blood, your tissues, your muscles. Side effects, signs of toxicity, you can see them there. And most likely you can identify a few of those as being part of things that you have to deal with on a daily basis. So keep this image in mind and think about how or which ways you can decrease certain things or take certain things out of your life, out of your daily life, or modify them to lighten the load of those toxins in your body. That's going to be very, very important. Toxic overload, I just mentioned it, right? It comes from our body care products. It comes from sunscreen, from laundry detergent. You can read all of those right there. It's all in there, and it's just overloading our bodies. So what can we do? What can we do? in order to make a difference. You know, can you identify yourself with some of these things that are listed on here? Constant chronic fatigue, muscle aches, joint pain, sinus congestion. I mean, sinuses is a huge issue. I hear people talk about that all of the time. Postnasal drip, excessive sinus problems, headaches, bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea. I mean, you name it, you go down that list, and those are things that we think are normal, right? Like we think as women, premenstrual syndrome or menstrual disorders are just normal. It comes with being a woman. Or skin problems, you know, we settle for thinking that they're okay, but sometimes it's just our body giving a signal saying, hey, help, I have a backup here and I'm backed up and I need help. And this is where detoxing helps you not have FLC syndrome, which stands for feel like crap. I stole that from Dr. Hyman. He's amazing. And when I read that, it's true. Most people, hey, how do you feel? I feel like crap, right? Unfortunately, we set ourselves up to a certain extent. And I'm not talking if you suffer chronic illness, you know, not to do what you need to do, but there are things that we do have control over that we could use, that we could choose to lighten the load on our bodies and to be kind to ourselves. So you want to detox your body. It's important that we give our bodies a break. Many different ways for you to detox. There's many different plans out there, some that are healthy, some that are not so healthy. But I want to point out just some things to look out for when you decide to detox and things to keep in mind. It starts with what you eat and drink, right? You have control over what goes in here. You have absolute control of it. And sometimes we have the behaviors where we feel we have to, we need to, it's stronger than me, I can't help it, I had the craving and I had to do it. But the reality is that if you set your mind not to give in to those things because you have a reason behind the no, right? You have a reason behind it. You want to get rid of these other symptoms that you were just reading on there that you're having to deal with every day with this FLC syndrome, right? So the control is in your hands to make that choice and say, you know, I'm not going to give in, right? So when you're looking at a detox program, you want to look for high quality protein, okay? Usually the best quality protein comes from plants. Vegetables have protein. Animal protein usually comes with a lot of saturated fat, some fat that is necessary, but most of it is waste. So you're eating animal protein, you're getting some protein in there, right? But you're getting mostly waste that now your body has to process. So detoxing with animal protein isn't really going to get you anywhere, right? So you want to look for high quality protein, high quality fats, okay? This fallacy that fat makes you fat is untrue. You need fats. Your brain needs fats, healthy fats for proper functioning. Non-starchy vegetables. So usually people will be like, I don't like to eat vegetables, but I eat corn and I can eat sweet potato or I can eat potatoes. Those are all starchy vegetables and they're easier to eat for most people who don't eat leafy green vegetables, and that's because of the sugar content, because they turn into sugar, and so it's a nice comfort food. So you have to aim for non-starchy vegetables, deep greens, fresh, organic. Organic makes a big difference. And there's a lot of hearsay back and forth about organic, whether it's true that it really has less pesticides or not. I recommend that you visit a webpage called EWG. They always have studies. They produce some guides that can help you find out which fruits, which vegetables you should buy organic, hands down, and which ones you shouldn't. It's the clean, they always change the number, but I think it's the clean 13, the dirty dozen and the clean 13 or the clean 15. They change it every year and they study everything in there. So it's a little list that you can go by and know which things that are not organic, which vegetables or fruits that are not organic are okay to eat because their pesticide content is lower, opposed to the ones that are really high that you really shouldn't even touch unless they are organic. Water. Our bodies are made up of water. I know I don't need to say it. Water, 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 water. Tremendously important. If you don't like water, squeeze in there some lemon juice, some lime juice, Throw some berries in there and let it soak overnight so it takes the flavor of the berries. There's different ways, but it all starts with the mind and with you wanting to do these things. But you want to use water when you're detoxing, and you want to make sure you have minerals to help your body stay hydrated and to replenish some of what you're losing as you detox. Okay. Self-nurturing practices is another part of detoxing that many people ignore, right? So we just focus on the detoxing. Okay, I'm depriving myself of everything that I like to eat, or I'm not eating, right? I also discourage not eating during a detox. You just want smaller amounts, and you want to be very specific about what it is that you're selecting. But self-nurturing practices are very, very important too, because we spoke about it before in those external toxins and those behavioral ones, right? It's the stress levels that take us to a point where we end up, making bad choices with regards to our food, or overeating, or giving in to those cravings that our body has, right? So taking time to just take deep breaths. If you're doing a detox, you open your eyes when your alarm goes off in the morning. Don't jump right out of bed. Take 5 intentional, slow, deep breaths in your nose and out your mouth. Allow your lungs to just purify and cleanse from the evening, right? Your body is restoring over the evening. It's working over the evening. It's producing toxins. So you want to be able to start out with just your breathing. You want to be able to give your body that time to sleep, to recover. So many people pride themselves on, I go through my day with 3 or 4 hours sleep and I do fine. Your body needs that rest. Our body is made for we get sleepy because our body is ready to recover. And when we're sick, we're even more sleepy, and we want to be in bed, and we could pretty much sleep all day because our body is fighting and it's recovering. So if you suffer chronic fatigue, it might be your body's fighting something all of the time, and it could be a toxic overload, and your body's just giving you signals like, I need to rest because I need to recover. I can't keep up. Light exercise while you're detoxing. I highly encourage exercise. If you know me, you know that I'm all about that. Unless you're recovering from an injury, which is what's happening to me, but light exercise while you're doing a detox is very important. You want to have the breathing increase. You want to have that blood flow. You want to be able to allow your body, though, to restore. So you don't want to do too much extreme exercise where you're wearing your body out. Now your body has to worry about, refurbishing everything in your muscles and feeding it back. And you're also detoxing, and your body's having to do that. Again, you don't want to overload the body, right? Take that time to educate yourself, to read why detox, maybe understand more in depth why we need to detox and what we're doing to our bodies, and what better choices can we make after we do a detox, right? Because you have to have a plan while you're detoxing, but also afterwards. What are you going to do? How are you going to go back? Journaling is very important, and that goes right along with that whole part of planning and understanding. What do I do during a detox? What do I do after? How do I feel when I eat certain things or when I eliminate certain things? Am I getting the headaches? Am I getting the runny nose and the sinuses? Am I sleeping better? How are my workouts going? All of these things we forget very quickly. We'll feel it in that moment. We'll maybe share it with some friends, or we'll make a comment about it, and we forget. And 2-3 weeks down the road, we don't remember that, oh, wait, I did this different and it made all the difference. And now I'm doing what I used to do before, and I'm having these issues again. So when you journal it, you have something in writing that you can go back to. So if failing to plan is planning to fail, then I'm planning something. If you're going to get anything from this call tonight, is that I encourage you to make a plan, to maybe look at your calendar and say, I can take a few days and do a detox. I want to do a detox, and begin to plan it. I'm here for you. Anybody who invited you here, Maria or Dr. Mike, anyone can help you elaborate that plan. When you plan, you set aside the possibility of failing. Okay? So you want to be active and not just have a whole bunch of knowledge sitting in your mind and going, oh yeah, I know I need to detox, but I have this or I have that. It might require you to sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice this for these 7 days or these 10 days or these 14 days that I'm going to take to do a detox. If you're in the Orlando area though, I'd love to share with you a little bit more. And I wanted to go ahead and invite you to an event that we have planned. And that's this coming Saturday, August the 19th, for 1 hour, 5 to 6 p.m. at Art of Fitness. That's in Dr. Phillips Boulevard area. You will need to reserve your seat. So after this, I'm going to give you some contact information. If you have pen and paper, you can write that down so you can reach out to me and I can send you the link so you can register. But I'm going to be sharing a little bit more in depth some of the information that I shared today. And I'm also going to share with you a plan that worked for me. Okay. And this is a plan that requires eating whole foods. It requires nurturing your body with superfoods, all organic, non-GMO, everything is certified. And you get to try some of the products and see if maybe this is a right fit for you. I found that with detoxing, when you have a system, when you have accountability, when you have support, and when you have guidance, it usually works out better, right? It makes it easier when you have a system to fall into and also a system for when you are coming out of that cleanse. So please write down this information. If you follow me on Facebook, whether it's on my personal page or whether it's in my Coach Dayana Fitness page, there's an invite there for that event with the link to Eventbrite for that event. So I would love, 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 love to have you come out, to have you share with us, to have you try some of the products, to have you just interact and see if this is something that might be for you. Okay. Here's some of the purity commitments from this cleanse that I did. And it's a brand partner that I support, that I believe in and that I advocate for because their products have taken me to another level. So it's taken me years to get to where I was until I did this cleanse. And then it's just cranked things up a notch to a higher level where a lot more things in my life have changed by choice, not forced or anything. But it starts with the cleanse. It starts with that detox. And when you realize how much better you feel and that you don't just have to feel like that during a detox, but on a regular basis, then it makes it all worthwhile. So here's my contact information where you can reach me, my phone number, my email. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram or on Facebook. But I would love, 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 love. I don't know if there's any questions coming up on the screen. If anyone has any questions that you'd like to share or that you'd like to comment on anything that we shared today, just kind of open for a minute there and see if anybody wants to share anything. And if not, please, you have my contact information. Feel free to private message me. Feel free to text me. I'm available for you. Dr. Mike, I'm not sure if you're getting anything on your screen. If not,
no, Diana, I don't see anything right now.
Okay. Okay. If not, without further ado, then I'm just going to bid farewell for now. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I look forward to hearing from you and hopefully joining us on Saturday. Okay? Take care. Thanks again for coming by and for sharing with me during this time, allowing me in to come and share with you a little bit of what I'm passionate about. So have a great evening. Once again, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a wonderful week. Bye.